Subscribe to Audio Novels for more content and click on the bell icon. We hope you enjoy the video. Thank you.
Zhizhi died in spring, in a certain March in the country of Yanshang. That night, her memory was fuzzy. She remembered feeling hot and thirsty all night. It was not something that air conditioning or cold water could solve. It was as if 1,000 ants were scratching incessantly at her heart. All she knew was that, the next morning, she saw the most devastating image she had ever seen in her life. She saw a woman lying with a man on a large white bed. That woman was herself, and the man was not her lover. Her world seemed to have collapsed around her at that moment. But before she could even let out a scream, the room door suddenly burst open, and reporters poured in along with the clicking sounds of cameras. The flashes illuminated her pale figure on the bed. It felt as if all the reporters in Jin City had gathered in this VIP room of a hotel, so stuffed with people it was. "Miss Song, your father's bones aren't even cold yet, and you're already doing such an immoral thing. Do you have no shame? Miss Song, Minister Yi loves you so much, yet you're having an affair behind his back. Don't you feel disgusted with yourself? Miss Song, you publicly broke off your engagement to young Master Ji previously, but now you climb into his bed? You really are the joke of Jin City." The hurtful words attacked Zhizhi's nerves one after another. She gritted her teeth and wrapped the blanket around her tightly as she took in everything around her in silence. She heard gasps of surprise. Among the crowd stood a thin figure. Zhizhi saw Yi Wenhan and watched him turn around to leave. No, it's not like that. Zhizhi recklessly rushed out of bed, dragging the blanket with her, and pushed the crowd of reporters aside. She stumbled out of the room after the figure. "Wenhan, you have to believe me, it's not like that." Zhizhi's vision became blurry. She tried her hardest to chase after the person in front of her. She chased him all the way to the empty rooftop of the Grand Hotel. The March sun shone dazzlingly upon the fluttering trees of Jin City. Yet her body was cold all over. It was a cold penetrated all the way into her heart. While staring at Yi Wenhan, who stood on the rooftop, Zhizhi dragged her body over to him step by step. "Wenhan?" Her voice was hoarse. She did not even dare ask for his forgiveness. She only wished to apologize. Yi Wenhan turned around. "Your heart hurts, doesn't it? It hurts so much you can't breathe, am I right?" Zhizhi stared at him in shock. She stared at his mocking eyes. Mocking. There was no pain there, just mockery. "To tell you the truth, I arranged all this," Yi Wenhan told her, word by word. "I made it happen, between you and Ji Baijin." Zhizhi stared at him in disbelief. "You don't believe me, do you? You're hoping it's all a bad dream, right?" A malicious smile surfaced on Yi Wenhan's face. "Zhizhi, I've had enough." "Wenhan," Zhizhi mumbled. Before this, she thought she could no longer call his name. "I spent so many years entertaining you. What do you think my motive is? Love? Of course not. What I'm after is just your status as the daughter of the chief diplomat of commerce, Song Shan, and to use you to climb to the position I want." Yi Wenhan added mercilessly, "I might as well come clean to you now. Your brother and your father both died by my hands." "Yi Wenhan, don't get too excited yet. The best part is still to come." Yi Wenhan flashed her a victorious smile with unrestrained arrogance. "Do you really think the love your stepmother and stepsister have for you is sincere? Don't be so naive. The only reason your stepmother married your father is to provide me with an easier path to success. She was the one who have been putting slow-acting poison in your father's food. Your stepmother, by the way, is my real mother. As for your brother, a step on the gas pedal was all it took to make his head burst." "That's enough, Yi Wenhan," screamed Zhizhi. "Do you have no fear for divine punishment?" "I hold my destiny in my own hands," said Yi Wenhan. And in that instant, his gaze turned ruthless. He fiercely grabbed Zhizhi and said, "As for yours, it's about time for it to end." "What are you doing?" Zhizhi's heart tightened. Behind her was a 1,000-foot abyss. "Eliminating you, of course," Yi Wenhan said, his voice ruthless and cold-blooded. "You're useless to me now. What point is there in letting you live?" "Yi Wenhan, you'll pay for murder with your life," Zhizhi roared. "Ha!" Yi Wenhan sneered. Zhizhi could not bear the shame of being caught in bed committing adultery, so she killed herself in front of her loved one. See, such a believable story. Song Zhizhi could hardly believe that this merciless demon was the man she once loved single-mindedly, the affectionate man who once proclaimed that he would not marry anyone else in the world but her. She could only watch as he pushed her off the railing of the hotel rooftop in cold blood. Unfortunately, she was unable to pull Yi Wenhan down together with her. Hate burned strong in her heart. An extreme hatred. She was Song Zhizhi, the daughter of Song Shan, the chief diplomat of commerce of the country of Yanshang. She grew up surrounded by love and attention, but she ended up causing the death of her entire family. She was filled with resentment up to the moment of her death. If there was a next life, she would definitely make sure those who wronged her die a horrible death.